Hi, and welcome to the channel. My name is Jeff, and here, I'm not even sure what I'm going to call this channel yet. I've gone through several different iterations. One of them's of pipe and pen. There's oak and briar. There's the oak room. At the end of the day, what's this channel about? Okay, whatever you see, there's the good fire. Okay, so that might be it. What's this channel about? You can see behind me a bunch of books. You know, you see a crucifix right here is a Bible. You see Fibonacci right there. This is actually a round from a tank that my grandfather drove in World War II. As you can tell, you know, there's a bunch of different kind of information here if you can read it. And everything from business books to Stoicism, which I guess is part, you know, can be seen as a business book, to The Hive and the Honeybee, right? So I raise bees. I'm into agriculture. I'm into pipe smoking. You see, you've got a couple different pipes up here that you can see. Down here behind me, there's some tobacco and whatnot. And I've got 4 kids. I'm married. Been married for 16 years as of right now. And so 16 years so far. Beautiful woman. And basically, you know, like I said, we have 4 children, eldest being 13. And basically what this is about people being able to come here, primarily probably men. I think this content would more appeal to men. And to help you understand, you know, different things about life of being a man, different things about masculinity, different areas of life, and just becoming a well-rounded human. Okay, not particularly right, not particularly always left. You know, and although this is a right-leaning channel, there's the conservative party or the conservative parties don't get everything correct all the time. At the same time, the liberal side doesn't get everything correct all the time. You know, I think back to somebody that I admire by the name of Wendell Berry, an essayist that I'm familiar with, his work, and he's in Kentucky. And Mr. Berry is an environmentalist, I guess you would say. And there are a lot of things that make sense, you know, in conservatism. This is not a political channel, but you know, you can't help in life that things kind of bleed over into that. Conservatism has its benefits, but at the same time, like modern liberalism has no use. But older liberal views do have their uses. You know, JFK type Democrats came from stronger positions. You know, I might say Bobby Kennedy. You know, guys like that. So when we look at the world through the eyes of environmentalists, through how, you know, I'm talking about practical environmentalism, practical. And when we look at these things, we don't see everything's one direction. It's not either all the way this way, it's not all the way that way. You know, what we see is that there's a blend, there's a gray area, there's a mix. And what we primarily strive to do here, what I primarily strive to do here, is to create content that you're going to enjoy. I'm also a writer. I wrote this book right here called Smart Wealth Secrets They Don't Want You to Know, because most people don't understand how money works. And as a retirement planner, which is what I was, then my mission was to help people understand where their money went, where their money's going, how it works, and that's why I wrote that book. I've written books on entrepreneurship, and I've got a couple of them published right now on Amazon. I have not spent any money on promoting those books. You know, Random House didn't call me and ask me to write any books. It's just information that I had in me, and I wanted to get it out there for whoever's interested in it. And that's kind of what this channel is. This channel is going to be a lot about my life, because that's what I know to talk about, and how my life lessons can help you, whether that's in marriage, whether that's in work, in your career, how to deal with people, all that kind of stuff. Okay. I grew up in the oil and gas industry. I've spent a fair amount of time on horseback, you know, in Colorado. Before I got married, for years I was on horses, working in oil and gas. But in southern Colorado, in our free time, what we'd do is we'd saddle up, we'd ride out in the mountains. Learned a lot from those men out there, those cowboys that are working out there in those mountains, actually, with cattle. Learned a lot from the way that they live, learned a lot from the way that they think. And I think that right out of high school, I was 20 years old. I graduated high school at 18. Then when I was 20, I was in college, and I moved to Manhattan. And I was in the World Trade Center whenever the planes hit. And so I got to experience that, running out of that building and everything else. We'll go through that in another video. But between the people that I know in New York, even to this day, and the cowboys in Montana, and where we lived in Montana, and the cowboys in Colorado, New Mexico, growing up on the Gulf Coast in oil and gas, from a fairly affluent family, and I wasn't handed anything. You understand? My dad handed me a broom, and I started from the bottom, you know. So I wasn't handed any company or anything like that. And I had to learn my own skill sets, and I had to practice those skill sets, become good at those skill sets in order to make a living. And, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a business now. I teach people how to trade, teach people how to day trade online to create freedom from their home. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But primarily what this is a place where you can come and I'm 44 years old now. And like I said, I've got 4 kids, and I've lived a lot of life. I know, you know, most people I went to high school with, college with, they've had a few jobs in the same town for the last 25, 30 years. And that has not been me. You know, I've lived quite a bit, gone a lot of places, learned a lot of things, and had a lot of experiences, you know, more so than anybody I know. So at the end of the day, you know, I'd love you to subscribe, stick around. We're looking to grow this channel, and we're looking to help people like me and people like you to further, you know, maybe there's some wisdom here. You know, maybe there's something that I can help you with. Maybe there's something that I can help your friends with, your family with, whatever. Maybe there's something I can relay to you that you can help them with. You understand? So that's what this is for. I'm not looking to make a living off of this channel. This is something where I have things inside that I feel like I want to get out, and I feel like the things that are inside of me are not meant to be kept inside. I feel like they're meant to be shared so other people can prosper as well, and that's what this is for. So at the end of the day, man, if you want to stick around and listen to what I have to say, hit that like button and subscribe, hit the bell, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless.